When you're visiting Kisumu, I think it's a must to visit the museum there. My favorite exhibit was where I learned about the Luo Homestead. In this culture, the firstborn son is meant to go out and create his own homestead. He sets out one morning without knowing even where he's going. His uncle will lead him to a place. The location is undisclosed beforehand because it was thought that somebody could place bad omens on the land and prevent you from doing well in life. Can you believe the first son and his age mates or like friends from the community would build his home in one day? I asked like, okay, so maybe do they prep some materials beforehand? And my guy said no, everything was done that day. You know, it's kind of a part of the ritual. Another is that the only one that could light the first fire at the homestead is the first son himself. And if you remember how I mentioned about the bad omens, there was something to combat that. You could bring some eggs and place them on a stick up high. They were believed to ward off any bad spirits. Your guide will walk you through each home in the homestead, and it's important to note that there are at least 3 wives. The first wife's home was the biggest, and it must be built in a certain position from the gate. There's a hierarchy for things, of course. And also, the sons can have homes. The daughters would be living with their moms or maybe their grandparents. They will have so many things needed to sustain themselves there, like the granaries where you keep grains, as well as you can keep chickens, and the other animals will be kept in a corral there. Although in this area, the Luo people were known for fishing. Oh, and one more fun fact. The man of the homestead, he never knew where he was going to be sleeping each night. The women talked about it amongst themselves, and they left the little stool, his stool, at whichever house he was supposed to be staying. Then he would communicate with the children and say, bring me the stool. And then he would know where he's going to lay his head for the evening. If the stool remained in his house, that means he was staying at home alone. So y'all already know I was able to meet some of the dancers there where they performed the traditional Luo song and dance. And I went on after that to explore even more parts of the museum. It was a really good tour. Very, very informative. And I think that's the most I've learned on one of my excursions in a while. So 100% recommend.